Okey, Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Hari ini kami nak membentangkan security polisi baru untuk ABX Company. Nama saya Muhammad Hafiz Faruqi bin Wasifuddin, kad matrik 01 DDT 19F1064. Terus,
Nama saya Hazi bin Hazman yang bernombor matrik 01 DDT 19F1028.
Nama saya Ahmad Rashdan yang berkad matrik 01 DDT 19F1020.
Nama saya Mufiz bin Muhammad Sanwan, kad matrik 01 DDT 19F1017.
terus ke summary. Okay, so yang pertama sekali kita akan tengok summary of policy statement. This policy is made to meet the requirement from company ABX, which is to reduce risk related to any cyber attacks. New security policy is needed to face the big risk of the increasing security threats from many wide range of sources. As we were facing some big threats, the punishment on who breach the information security objective, which is at the page 4, will be stricter and harsher. Every employee within this company is needed to cooperative on the new made policy. So maksudnya kat sini polisi baru ni dibuat untuk memenuhi permintaan company ABX untuk mengurangkan risiko cyber attack. Sebabkan teknologi sekarang semakin membangun, security policy pun diperlukan untuk update. So banyaklah source trade tu akan dihapuskan. So yang seterusnya kita akan masuk kepada scope. Security policy ni dia akan apply to all employees including security guards, cleaners, intern, partnership of company ABX and third party of company ABX. So security policy ni dia termasuk lah semua employee dalam company tu. Termasuk partnership dan third party. So takkan ada siapa yang boleh terlepas daripada security policy yang baru ni. Yang seterusnya kita masuk kepada background. So why the new security policy is updated? As the newest technology is more developing, the system and network may be the target of variety of attacks, including computer-based fraud, surveillance of vandalism. The district will be expected to be more widespread. So the company ABX is becoming more vulnerable to security threats because they have increasing the growth of dependent on IT system and services. So disebabkan company ABX ni dia dah makin maju, so dia akan lagi vulnerable lah. Terbuka peluang untuk security threat become target. Mereka become target. So yang seterusnya stop.
Ya.
Okay, kita sambung yang seterusnya. Seterusnya adalah purpose, iaitu tujuan ataupun objektif security policy ini dibuat. Yang pertama, provide guidance to the employee in managing the information security as part of their work. So, security policy ini akan tolong guide employee dalam manage information security sebagai salah satu daripada kerja mereka. So, yang seterusnya, raise awareness in the group of employees within the company and other partner of company ABX. So security policy ni juga akan menaikkan awareness mereka tentang threat ancaman-ancaman security. Yang seterusnya, raise the security level of managing the confidential information which will be the most important. So dia akan menaikkan security level dalam manage information yang berharga lah, yang penting. So yang terusnya, kita masuk kepada definition of security policy. What it means to be secure for a system, organization, or other entity. For an organization, it addresses the constraint on behavior of its members, as well as constraint imposed on adversaries by mechanisms such as doors, lock, keys, and walls. For system, the security policy address constraint on function and flow among them, constraint on access by external system and adversaries, including program and access to data by people. Okay, so why we need to implement the security policy dalam sebuah company? Sebab kan we live in a world where technology is growing from time to time. Whenever we go out online on the internet, our data has been exposed, which is maybe vulnerable to theft, manipulation, or impersonation. Security theft always happen, although it is from the big company. This, that is why a well-written and updated security policy is needed in every company. So without security company and organization or company, confidential information will be exposed to the world. Okay. So dalam security policy ni, kita akan masukkan ada information security objective. So kita apply 3 main objective dalam security policy ni. Yang first, confidentially. So only individual with authorization can access data and asset. Yang kedua, integrity. Data should be accurate and IT system must keep operational. Yang ketiga, availability. Users should be able to access information on system when needed. So 3 main ini akan di-apply dalam security policy dalam company ni. Sebagai satu objektif baru lah dalam menghalang trik-trik.
Okay, next seterusnya kita lihat pada mobile and remote computing policy. First kali kita tengok apa itu mobile and remote computing policy. Definition remote access tu sendiri. Remote access is about accessing your primary environment when you are not in your office, for example. Mobile access is about accessing your work, application and data from anywhere. Remote access is the ability for an authorized person to access a computer or a network from geographical distance. Maknanya apa yang dimaksudkan dengan remote access ni, apabila seseorang itu berada di luar, dia bukan berada di pejabat dia boleh akses kerja dia menggunakan dia punya telefon bimbit sahaja. Okey, itu yang dimaksudkan dengan remote access. Okey, kita pergi kepada polisi yang pertama. Polisi yang pertama adalah hardware identification. Employees should label their mobile device with their name and telephone contact information so lost device can be returned to them even after their battery has gone dead. Maknanya apa yang dimaksudkan hardware identification ni, employee akan letakkan setiap mobile device itu dengan nama dan nombor telefon diorang. So apabila kalau diorang punya telefon tu hilang, orang lain bila jumpa telefon tu dia akan mudah untuk memulangkan kepada owner kerana ada maklumat yang diletakkan dalam hardware tersebut. Okey, kita pergi ke polisi yang seterusnya. Internet connection. Okay, seterusnya, internet connection. Employees are required to use a virtual private network, VPN, that has been provided and verified by company ABX and third-party company. This only applies to remote worker who only work outside company. Maknanya apa yang dimaksudkan dengan internet connection ni, sesiapa pekerja daripada company ABX ni yang keluar daripada tempat kerjanya, ada setengah orang tu dia akan rasa data dia tak selamat tau kalau kita menggunakan public server ni. Tapi syarikat ni kami telah create untuk syarikat ni VPN untuk syarikat ni sendiri. So data dari yang keluar masuk itu akan lebih secure dan selamat dan tidak akan dicerobohi oleh orang lain. Using VPN before signing on to public Wi-Fi network will encrypt the internet traffic of the remote worker and monitor for any sign of infection. Remote worker can still get out of the house when they feel isolated and company can ensure their data is secure. Employees who work inside company airbags are required to use Wi-Fi connection that has been provided by company airbag. So macam saya cakap tadi, kalau pekerja tu dia ada kerja outstation, dia perlulah gunakan VPN ni supaya data yang dia keluar dan masuk itu selamat dan tidak akan dicerobohi oleh orang luar. Okay, seterusnya kita pergi kepada polisi, password. Every employee will be required to only use password that has been generated by password manager. Using a password manager that can randomly generate password for you and that store all of your passwords safely. Employees won't have to struggle of remembering all of their different password for different program and the company data can remain secure and uncompromised. Maknanya password ni setiap pekerja di company ABX ni akan diberikan password daripada password manager. So password manager ni akan memberikan password setiap satu program tu berlainan password. So pekerja-pekerja di company ABX ini tidak akan pening kepala lah untuk mengingati password-password yang diorang telah create kerana password manager ni telah createkan dan telah disimpan. Maknanya the human resource of company ABX will be the one who will provide this password to employees. Maknanya apa-apa yang terjadi, pekerja-pekerja boleh pergi ke human resource untuk pekerja-pekerja di company ABX perlu merujuk human resource pada password mereka. Okay. Okay, seterusnya. Two-factor authentication. Employees of company ABX are required to use two-factor authentication to FA for additional verification. Maknanya this include biometric like retina, voice or face recognition. All of this will be provided by company ABX. This method confirm a user identity by first requiring a username and password as well as another piece of information. Maknanya kita nak mengetahui seorang itu bekerja di company ABX ini, kita perlulah mengambil biometrik sebagai contoh retina, voice atau face recognition. Ini akan lebih memudahkan dan lebih secure lah untuk company ABX ini. Okay.
Seterusnya ialah malware protection. Definition, malware is short for malicious software. It is any type of software designed to infiltrate or damage a computer system without the owner's informed consent. So definisi dia ialah malware ni adalah sejenis ugutan ataupun kerosakan yang boleh diberikan kepada komputer tanpa pengetahuan pengguna itu sendiri. Contoh-contoh virus dia ialah trojans, virus, worms, ransomware and other threats fall into the category of malware. Good malware protection begins with effective anti-malware software. Rule bagi malware protection ialah prevents the execution of malware often disguised as or abandoned in non-malicious files by using malware modules to target process behaviors that are commonly triggered by malware. So dekat sini untuk menghalang ugutan malware ni, dia yang selalu dia kita tak nampak tapi dia ada dalam setiap atau file-file tertentu. Di mana malware tu boleh trigger dekat sasaran yang dia nak. Okay, seterusnya ialah polisi. The first one is install antivirus, anti-malware and anti-ransomware software. It is safer to block ads entirely or backup your ad blocker with a trusted antivirus program. Every employee needed to use the security software that has been provided and verified by company. Software untuk kita cegah antivirus malware ni, kita kena pastikanlah software yang kita nak untuk kita halang virus ni, dia verified dan dia keluarkan sendiri oleh company yang dipercayai. Seterusnya ialah routinely scan the computer. There are many reputable programs to choose from, so you can pick one that is the best suit for your browsing habits. You can configure an antivirus program to scan your computer at regular intervals while you are not using it or manually. Start a scan if you believe your computer has been exposed to a threat. If you keep your antivirus software up to date, it will help you to stay ahead of the latest malware threats. So bila kita scan, kita selalu scan komputer kita, kita akan tahu apa benda yang dah update kalau ada serangan yang tertentu datang daripada malware ni. So bila kita tahu serangan baru atau jenis-jenis malware yang baru yang serang, kita boleh tahu dan kita boleh selesaikan virus tersebut. Seterusnya, educate employees on threat sources. Make sure every employee knows what types of malicious that they will facing more often later. Train employees on whom and what to trust and teach them not to fall for phishing or other schemes. Have them install two-factor authentication as a first line of defense. These are the list of malwares that every employee needs to know. So dekat sini, polisi ni kena pastikanlah pekerja-pekerja tahu setiap virus ataupun serangan yang diorang akan hadap. So diorang takkan ada masalah untuk diorang selesaikan. So dekat sini ada jenis-jenis virus. Yang first, virus are a type of malware that infect, delete and corrupt file. Yang kedua, worms are network malware that infect multiple connected device. Yang ketiga, Trojan hosts are disguised as legitimate software and open a backdoor into your device for other malware to exploit. Yang keempat, adware, display unwanted advertisement. Yang kelima, spyware, track password, credit card numbers and online behavior. Dan yang keenam, rootkits allow attacker to maintain privileged access to a computer or certain program while remain undetected. So semua ni adalah jenis-jenis virus yang pekerja-pekerja perlu tahu untuk diorang selesaikan masalah virus ini. Dan yang terakhir, yang seterusnya, backup recovery. Backup processes are critical to protecting against data loss. In a world of fast-moving, network-based ransom. Seterusnya ialah backup recovery. Backup processes are critical to protecting against data loss. In a world of fast-moving, network-based ransomware, worms and destructive cyber attacks, you must enable a data protection solution. Every employee need to make sure every time they log on into the computer, all the data must have been backup. Every employee will be provided a cloud storage from company, and all of the data will be kept in the server of cloud storage by the company with the help of third-party company and partnership of company. So kepentingan backup ni lah kita boleh menjagalah keselamatan information yang company tu ada. So dia takkan jadi masalah dan dia sangat membantulah untuk kalau takut ada data-data yang hilang ke apa ke. So backup recovery ni salah satu polisi yang penting juga.
Okay, next, physical equipment. Okay, definition. Physical security describes security measures are designed to deny unauthorized access to facilities, equipment and resources and to protect personal and property from damage or harm. Okay, apa yang saya faham definition untuk physical equipment ni, dia macam kita protect sesuatu data ataupun server ke ataupun network ke, benda yang kita protect tu benda yang kita nampak. So dia panggil physical equipment. Okay, so next polisi. Okay, untuk yang first, lock up the server room. Lock down the server. Security guards should ensure that there are good locks on the server room door. For example, use biometric or key code to get in. Make sure only authorized person that got an access to room. Okay. Yang pertama ni, lock up the server room. Maksudnya security guard mainkan peranan untuk lock server room. Tapi untuk orang yang tertentu je boleh masuk. Macam orang-orang dalam dia. Lepas tu kalau nak masuk tu boleh macam guna biometrics tu ataupun key code. Okay. Next one, set up surveillance. A video surveillance can be placed in a location that makes it difficult to tamper with or disable or even to find. Give a good view of person entering and leaving should supplement the logbook or electronic access system. Surveillance cams can monitor continuously or they can use motion detection technology to record only when someone is moving about. They can even be set up to send email or cell phone notification if motion is detect when it should be, such as after hours. Okay, apa yang saya faham surveillance ni macam kita pasang CCTV, jadi kita dapat lihat pergerakan masuk dan keluar. Jadi kat situ kita dapat kita dapat menjaga dengan lebih selamat lagi. Okay, the next one is pick up the backup. Only IT administrators keep the backup next to the server in the server room. They should be locked in a drawer or safe at the very least. Ideally, a set of backups should be kept off-site and they must take care to ensure that the data are secure in the office location, off-site location. Okay, backup the backups ni macam kita backup tapi kita backup tu dekat tempat yang lain supaya orang tak dapat nak detect yang data tu ada kat situ. Itu yang dimaksudkan backup the backup.
Okay.
3. After that, access control. Access control system allow you to keep track of who is in your space and where at all times. Access control works by assigning badge to the people who use your space. Employees will be given a green badge which hold their personal information. The card holder will be given extra access to some of location, especially when they are need to do work there. Security guards be given a red badge as their identification whenever they enter any building or any room in any ABX. Cleaner will be given a blue badge. They will have a limited access to some room in the community. Okay, access control ni dia untuk kita macam kita untuk jejak orang kat dalam company tu. Okay, macam pekerja tu orang akan bagi green badge untuk orang. Lepas tu jadi green badge tu dapat pergi ke mana tempat dalam company tu lah. Untuk security pula kita akan bagi red badge di mana semua bilik kat dalam company ABX ni semua security guards dapat masuk. Okay, untuk cleaner pula kita akan bagi blue badge yang di mana dia limited access to some room in the company. Okay. Lastly, network equipment protection. Only IT administrators are allowed to fix, off or off, and turn on or off all network equipment inside company ABX. These IT administrators will be given a purple badge to make sure that no one else except them can enter the server room. All the network equipment will be recorded in the document by the IT administrators. Okay, network equipment protection ni cuma IT administrators je yang dia masuk dalam server room tu. Jadi kita orang akan bagi purple badge. Jadi dapat yang masuk room tu yang hanya ada purple badge je. So setiap kali diorang nak pasang protection code tu akan direkodkan ke dalam dokumen. Jadi kita dapat semak balik siapa yang masuk dalam bilik server tu. Okay, itu saja dari sini.
Okay, kita pergi yang terakhir sekali, kita pergi kepada 10.0 iaitu penalty. Violation of any of the requirement in this policy by any authorized personnel will result in suitable disciplinary action up to and including loss of access privilege, civil and criminal prosecution and or termination. Macam contoh, seseorang pekerja tadi, dia melakukan kesalahan dari segi disiplin. So, dia punya privilege sebagai contoh retina ataupun fingerprint yang menunjukkan bahawa dia adalah pekerja di company ABX itu akan ditarik. Dan badge yang diterangkan tadi juga akan ditarik. Okay, seterusnya. If any employees got caught of stealing or break any rules in the security policy and selling any confidential information of company ABX, they will get punished by the law. So, apabila seseorang pekerja yang bekerja di company ABX ini melanggar rule security policy yang ditetapkan oleh company ini ataupun menjual confidential information kepada syarikat-syarikat luar, mereka akan dihukum mengikut undang-undang. Okay, yang terakhir sekali, violation in this policy by any visitor can result in similar disciplinary action against the sponsoring employee and can also result in termination of service with any associate consulting organisation or prosecution in the case of criminal activity. Okay, yang isi ketiga ni samalah macam isi yang pertama tadi. Kalau dia melakukan kesalahan dari segi disiplin, mereka punya fingerprint atau retina dan badge semua akan ditarik ataupun mereka akan dikenakan tindakan daripada segi undang-undang.